Testing, testing. Is this thing on? Testing, testing, testing. Testing! Testing! Just testing to make sure the thing works. Okay, it seems like it's working. Okay. Hey everybody, I'm here to you, and welcome back to G8RStreams The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. So, fun story. The last Gator stream we did on Link's Awakening happened before the Switch version came out. I was kind of hoping that I'd be able to beat this game before that version was released, but then I didn't stream for a little while because I'm not very consistent when it comes to streaming. Yay! Alright, so what we'll be doing today is we'll be playing it through the 5th dungeon in The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. I'm not entirely sure how far we'll be able to play into the game today, but we'll be playing for a little while. And also, as I mentioned on Twitter, stay tuned for the very end because we'll have a special announcement. What do you mean no signal? Hold on a second. Alright, technical issues. Alright, let's try that again. I was having the same problem before I started. That's why I was starting a little bit later. There we go. Okie dokie. Alright, so also in the past we've been playing with the Game Boy Color border turned on. This time around though, I think I'm going to leave it off so that the screen can still be big and things like that. Alright, so now let's get started with the 5th dungeon, Catfish's Maw. Between all the dungeons in Link's Awakening, this is probably the 3rd most difficult one for me. Not that it's hard or anything like that, it's just that this is the one that I seem to always get lost in whenever I play through this game. And I gotta say, it's really interesting seeing this game again after playing the Switch version. And a bit of a fun story about that, I've been playing the Switch version a lot lately, and I made it to the Catfish's Maw dungeon on the Switch version, and I was thinking to myself, you know, I haven't streamed the Game Boy version in a long time. I should probably finish that before I get too far into this game. So, yay, we're playing through this game again. So you definitely want to keep this area in mind for a little bit later. We could continue off to the left, but there's not really a whole lot for us to do right there, but just keep this area in mind. Actually, I might as well demonstrate it right now. So, this area right here, you may notice the 4 blocks on the corners. You definitely want to keep that in mind for later. So that's it over here. It's just so interesting seeing this game again after playing the Switch remake, because the thing is, the Switch remake looks exactly like I imagined this game would look if it was made with 3D graphics. But there's also a few things here and there that kind of trip me up in that version. Like for example, whenever you pick up a key or anything like that, you have to press a button rather than just run into it. So little things like that here and there always throw me off. Alright, let's secure view. We could technically use the fish song, but I don't feel like using that. I feel like walking. I need to get my exercise. Alright, destroy you. There we go. So, I don't know how many of you have remember this, but a little while back I was talking about how one of my ultimate goals for this year was to play Link's Awakening while waiting in line for Link's Awakening. And at PAX West 2019, I fulfilled that goal. This was the dungeon that I was playing while waiting in line for a Link's Awakening Switch, and it was pretty fun. Although I will say, trying to get into the line to play Link's Awakening was kind of a pain, because getting into Nintendo's lines in general is just really difficult because there's so many people trying to get in line. Like for example, this year they even had a system where if you could register with My Nintendo to reserve time slots to play the games, but that filled up pretty quickly too, and that didn't really help a whole lot. So yeah, it was kind of difficult to get into those lines, but it was definitely worth it because playing Link's Awakening while waiting in line for Link's Awakening was pretty awesome. And I just completely talked over this battle without really describing how it works. So my favorite strategy is to use a spin attack while he's preparing a sword attack, so that that'll knock him off balance, and then you can use a bomb to finish him off. Arrgh, I can't beat you. I'm out of here. Alright, so this area over here, I want to demonstrate something that's pretty funny. To do that, I'm going to need to set a restore point. I've got what was inside this box. Come and get it if you can. So, I'm going to set a restart point, and I'm going to leave that treasure chest unopened. And the reason why is pretty amusing, and we'll get into that a little bit later. This is not where I want to go. And hopefully the Guardian Acorn music will go away eventually, because it's starting to annoy me just a little bit. Not enough to completely irritate me, but just barely enough to make me complain. Isn't complaining fun? Alright, so it's it over here, press down the button. Oh, it's you again! Gulp, you found me! You're a real pesky kid, you know that? So this is the primary gameplay gimmick of this boss fight. This is a guy we're gonna have to find a couple times throughout the dungeon, and as we saw earlier, there was a similar room towards the beginning of the dungeon that had those blocks on all four corners of this room. So this is how you can tell which order you need to fight this guy in, because that room had two boxes in the corner, so that's the second time we'll be facing him. And now we need to go find the third one, and luckily I know exactly where it is, because I played this game way more times than it's healthy. This is not where we need to go. Alright, those guys with the swords and shields, they're kind of interesting to fight on this version, because in the remake, you have to use your shield to knock them off balance for a bit. You can't do the trick that I usually like to do, where you go like this and then you poke them from the side. And now we're getting inside the third fight. Gulp, you found me. You're a real pesky kid, you know that? So those of you who watched the previous Gator stream for this game, something that's pretty interesting is, if you remember when we were exploring the Scary Demon Dungeon, the sprites for this boss fight glitched and it became that giant Kirby puppy monstrosity thing. This was the glitch this was the sprite that it was supposed to be, but it wasn't for some reason, because yay, magical, glitchy, scary demon dungeons. At last, you got a map. I press the start button to look at it. So we pull up the map, and I honestly have no idea what this map is supposed to look like. Even on the Switch version, I still don't know. Because what's so cool about this game, I believe this is also the case for the original Zelda game as well, but in this game, all the dungeon layouts are supposed to resemble something. Like the first dungeon, wait. I'm getting my dungeons mixed up. The one that I wanted to talk about in particular was the third one, because that's probably the most obvious one. The third dungeon layout is supposed to look like a key. The second dungeon layout is supposed to look like a bottle. Just things like that. But I honestly have no idea what the dungeon layout for the fifth dungeon is supposed to look like. Okay, let's pause it for a moment and try to figure it out after we can defeat this guy. Be destroyed already. There we go. Those guys are always kind of annoying. Oh, excuse me. So yeah, let's look at this map layout real quick, and I don't know what it's supposed to look like. It could be a shark fin, but it doesn't look like one. I don't know. If anybody's watching this video, can you let me know in the comments or anything like that? Alright, let's head over here. And now we're going back to that area where we got the first key. I really like how this puzzle works, because you go into this area looking for the key, and then you come into this place, and there's nothing here for you on your first time going to this area. But as you fight this guy more and more, and you start to pick up on the hint that the blocks and things like that, you start to subconsciously think back to where you may have seen a room like this before. So then you can start going all around and explore the area, and you're like, oh, this is where I saw that area. It's just a really cool way to teach you this game. You again? You keep going and going. I can't outlast you. Alright, let's do it. Alright. Let's do this. This is the final time we'll be able to fight this thing. Unless we come across him again in the Scary Demon Dungeon. Alright. This guy's also really easy. They made him a little bit more difficult in the Switch version, which I do appreciate, but on this version, this guy is kind of a joke if you know what you're doing. Of course, after I say that, I take damage. Yay! Victory screech! Oh! And you've got the hook shot. Its chain stretches long when you use it. This item is awesome. We'll get into its uses a little bit, but real quick, I'm going to look at the comments because I just noticed something. The James Rolo says, "Are you enjoying the remake so far?" Dude, the remake is so good. That is like the perfect remake out there. It's probably not a stretch to say that the Link's Awakening remake is my game of the year 2019. Might even be the game of the decade. It's just so good. Anybody who has a Switch, you definitely need to play Link's Awakening on there. It's truly the best, the definitive way to play that game. And it's just so great. I'm already on my second playthrough of the game. Alright, let's take care of you. So the thing that was setting up a little while ago was this treasure chest right here, as we demonstrated before setting the restore point, was if we opened this, he would say something along the lines of that the skull guy stole what was in there. And now that he's destroyed, is it going to say anything else? I've got what was inside this box. Come and get it if you can. So yeah, the developers forgot to change the text box because technically he's supposed to be dead. So he shouldn't be speaking at all right now. The James Rosa says, agreed, a great remake. It really is. It's definitely my game of the year. Alright, so one thing that I'm really enjoying about the remake is the chamber dungeons. I know some people didn't really particularly care that much for them. And I can kind of understand why, because you can't really share them with your friends. But what I want to try to start doing is sharing my dungeon layouts through Twitter, like saving a video screenshot and kind of sharing the layouts that way. I would like to see more people try and do that, because I think we can share dungeon layouts that way. It's just a matter of being able to have all the chamber pieces to rebuild those dungeons. Alright, we took care of the Goombas. As per usual, you can always jump on their heads and you'll always get a heart. Mario, write that down. If I were to say one thing that I didn't really care that much for the remake, it's a nitpick. It is not a big deal whatsoever, but it's just something that always distracts me whenever I play through the game. Whenever there's a nightmare key that appears, you have to press a button to pick it up, but you don't have to do that on this version. Just little things here and there like that kind of distract me. It's nothing too game-breaking or anything like that, and honestly, if having to press the A button is the biggest complaint with the remake, you know your remake is great. Alright, we have a key in here. Ah! Also, I gotta say, the voice work in the remake is also really great too. The James Hero says, a good thing I have 3 of those Link amiibo to not share my dungeons with. Share! Does it have to be the Link's Awakening amiibo to share your dungeons, or can you use any of the Zelda ones? Because I really want to get the Link's Awakening amiibo, but I'm kind of broke right now because I spent too much money on not amiibos. I'm a terrible person. Alright, let's take care of you. Get back here, you little fool. Get back here. There we go. So yeah, these enemies that we were struggling with earlier, they are now no longer a problem because we can destroy them with the amazing powers of the hookshot. What's in this room? Is there anything special in this room? I think there's still a treasure chest in here. Maybe we definitely need to get those bombs anyway, so we might as well finish this room. I'm gonna use the magic powers of jars to destroy these guys. I don't feel like picking up the thing. And the stone break is right there if you need it. I personally am not going to be demonstrating it that much because we don't really need the hints that it tells us. If I was Let's Playing this game, then I would do that. But I'm not Let's Playing this game. Alright, let's head over here. Making a little bit of a mental note for myself to go back to the beginning of the dungeon after we take care of what's coming up here. Giddy, go away from me! There we go. Alright, so we definitely want to be careful with the bombs in this area because of what's coming up next. Actually, wait, this isn't the bomb boss. This is the arrow boss. So I don't know what I was thinking about with arrows. Alright. If you have a secret item later in the game, this boss is way easier. But I just like using the arrows because it has a bit of a nicer challenge. So the strategy with these guys is that when they start vibrating like that, they're going to charge at you. And that's not what you want that to happen. When you see an arrow like that, you can fire some arrows at them. You can fire up to 2 arrows at once before their eyes close, if you don't want to take any damage or anything like that. Okay, we got 1 arrow. Okay, 1 more. Do we have any potions? Yes, we do. Okay, that's good. Alright, so fun story about this guy. So, my first playthrough of this game, or at least one of my very early playthroughs, when I was playing through this boss fight, my Game Boy batteries were almost dead. So it was kind of stressful trying to beat this boss fight when I had just so little battery left on my Game Boy. Like, I was pushing through and trying to beat it, and not even kidding, after I beat the boss, I immediately saved my game, and right after I got back out of the menu, right after I got out of the save menu, my Game Boy died. So that's just something that I always think about whenever I come through this area. You got 200 rubies! You're ecstatic! Yay! Alright, so what to do next? I want to use this thing. The name drawer says, I think any amiibo works. Any Zelda amiibo that is. Okay, so that would work. Yay! I love amiibos. I know they don't get used too often nowadays, but they're still a really fun concept, and a lot of the modern games that still use them in pretty interesting ways. I really like how in Skyrim they use the Link amiibo to unlock a Hylian armor for your character. Things like that is really cool. I was really hoping that with Overwatch on Switch, they'd have amiibo integration to unlock outfits for your characters, like Diva having a Zero Suit Samus outfit, or Tracer having a Zelda costume, or things like that. They're not going to do that, and with all the not great things happening with Blizzard lately, I've kind of admittedly lost interest in that game. I probably rent it, but I don't know if I'm going to pick it up anytime soon. I also heard that Overwatch doesn't have a single-player campaign, and that's kind of a big deal for me. You got 50 rubies! Very nice. Alright, James Ross says, any Zelda amiibo works, it's Shower Chamber Dungeons, Toy Link, gives a Shadow Link in the dungeons. Ooh. That sounds cool. And we picked up a heart and more rubies. So if you're short on rubies, then this is definitely a great place to grind up on them. I don't know why I said that, because the rubies disappear after you beat them, so I don't know what I was thinking there. But yeah, you're going to get a ton of rubies if you get every treasure chest in this dungeon. That's what I was trying to say. Alright, the bracelet, croissant thingy. Something funny about this bracelet is that the bracelet in this game actually gets referenced in Undertale, and they refer to it as a croissant because the bracelet in this game kind of looks like a croissant, and when I saw that the first time, it made me so happy. Ah! Another thing that throws me off whenever I come across it in the remake is that whenever you fall down a pit, I'm so used to seeing Link appearing I'm so used to seeing Link appear at the place where he enters the room, but in the remake, when he falls down a thing, he'll like appear at the last place he was standing or whatever. So this area right here always threw me off when I was a kid, because I was always so certain that this room was in the 4th dungeon, not the 5th one. So I'd always get so confused going to this area when I was a kid. But now that I'm older and wiser, I know better. I take care of the Goomba. Hey, I picked up the heart. There we go. Haha. Alright, let's sit up here. And we have one more treasure chest left to open. I wonder what it could be inside. What could it be? 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 You've got the Nightmare's key. Now you can open the door to the Nightmare's lair. Fancy. This dungeon is going by way faster than I thought it would. I know the dungeons in this game aren't very long, but whenever you're thinking about it as a kid, you always remember the dungeons being way longer than they actually are. Alright, now to remember where the staircase is that leads to the dungeon boss. I want to say it's this one, but I don't know off the top of my head. Yeah, it's this one. Okay, that's good. Okie. I don't like not having my sword equipped on the B button, but for convenience sake, I'm just going to have it equipped right here. Ah, heart. Yay. Alright, that's it over here. I'm also already glad that the Link's Awakening remake turned out as great as it did, because the last two Zelda remakes they did, in my personal opinion, kind of left a lot to be desired. Because Majora's Mask 3D, it is a great game, but compared to the Nintendo 64 version, they kind of changed a lot of things that didn't need to be changed. So, like for example, the Great Bay Temple, they completely butchered the ice arrows in that game. And I know I've already ranted about this plenty of times during my Let's Play, but I feel the need to complain about it again here. And Twilight Princess HD, it really didn't feel like they changed much. I know they changed some of the early in-game padding to make it less bad, but they didn't change it enough to make it really feel that noticeable, in my opinion. So I'm really glad that the Link's Awakening on Switch, I'm really glad that that version changed what needed to be changed and left what worked intact. Yeah, it's not working. Yeah. Ah, you're going the other way now. Tisk. You don't seem to know what kind of island this is. What a fool. And another thing that I really like about the remake, let's probably not talk about the remake too often during this stream, but another thing that I really like in the remake is that now you can do a 3-heart run of Link's Awakening. I'll talk a little bit more about that after this, though. Shrine. An island secret in the shrine. So, in the original game, you couldn't open the door to the instruments without picking up the heart piece, which made this one of the very few games in the Zelda series where it's impossible to do a 3-heart run. But they changed that in the Switch version, so now it is possible. Which means I can do the 3-heart hero run mode in this game. It's going to be awesome. So we go over here, and what was the last item we did in the trader side quest? The hibiscus. Okay, so I know where to take that. We did so.
When I was swimming in the bay, the waves took a very important necklace from around my neck. If you find it, I will let you take a skill from my tail.
What would that feel like to lose a mermaid scale? Like, would that feel like a haircut or something like that? I don't know. I don't want to think too much on it. But I gotta say, that mermaid is like so freaking adorable in the remake. And this village, it is so cute in the Switch version because I absolutely love that in the remake, the Animal Village theme is now sung by dogs and cats, where it's all like ruff, 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 ruff. The remake really makes me happy. So now we've traded a flower for a letter. So let's get out of this area. What would be the fastest way to get there? Okay, so I'm going to play the fish song just for a moment. We're going to be working on trading side quest stuff for a little while. It honestly feels a little bit weird playing through this game again and not having the fish song take you to any of those teleportation areas. It's also convenient that we're going the same way anyway, because there's now another treasure chest we can open now that we've gotten the hook shot. Alright. I always wanted to know if there's a way that I could, like, do an extra long jump to get over here so I can get this treasure chest early. Because there's 50 rubies in here, and in the early game, especially when you're going for the shovel, 50 rubies can be pretty important. So I'm always already wanting to know if there's any kind of way that I can get that treasure chest a little bit earlier than you're supposed to. So this is the place we're going to want to take the letter. What's this? A letter for me? I'm so happy. And look, the letter comes with a photograph. She's so beautiful. I must give you something for your trouble. Yeah, this is the text box that appeared when we picked up the glitchy instrument in the Scary Demon dungeon. And it was really, really surprising when that happened. I'll just say that right now. But that photo was not tough. I always loved that part. Alright, let's head over here. The James Rose says, catfish! Alright, which way to go next? I want to go this way. I think. No, it would be faster to go this way. Alrighty then. Let's equip this so we can go a little bit faster. I love how the Pegasus boots feel in the remake, by the way. They just feel so good to run around fast and things like that. Although I will say, one thing that kind of bums me out about the Switch remake is the fact that the color pictures don't appear in that version. And they offered a lot of charm in the Game Boy Color version. Like, for example, that Ghost of the Gravestone. Actually, that reminds me. Did we get that? Yeah, we got that picture. But yeah, those pictures are not in this version, unfortunately, and that makes me a little bit upset. But again, it's nothing really too significant.
Yippee! A little broom for me? It is, isn't it?
No. Then you sweep the island! In return, you can have this fishing hook I found when I swept the river. You exchange the broom with a fishing hook. What will the fishing hook become? And we want to go this way now. Those ladybug enemies always... I don't like them. They're like the enemy in this the one enemy in this game that I absolutely despise. Going down here, we need to equip the feather. Let's go like this. And talk to you. Oh, what is that you have in your hand? It's not a fishing hook, is it? You had better let me have it. I'll give you my next catch if you let me have it. Keep your eyes open and watch a pro at work. My, that's a big one. And we get the necklace. So, this was a little different in the Japanese version. Is there... I want to talk to you again. Let's see what I'll capture next. Okay. I was thinking there we can get a picture right there now, but I don't think that's until later. But the necklace was a little different in the Japanese version of this game. I'm not going to say what it is. Feel free to look up on your own time. It still involves the mermaid, but in a not exactly family-friendly way. But yeah.
Give it back. Give me my necklace. I'll give you a skill, as I said. Promise you'll only take one.
And we can stand on water. The James Rose says, quotations, necklace. You return to the necklace and got a scale of the mermaid's tail. How will you use this? Okay, will this work? Okay, I'll have to remember to show it off later, but I remember at some point later in the game, the mermaid will also start to appear on top of the rock right there. So that's a pretty interesting detail. And on the topic of that localization change with the mermaid and all, I gotta say, that localization change was a lot more risque than anything Tokyo Mirage Sessions changed when it was released in North America, and yet nobody ever talks about that. Nobody ever boycotts this game for changing that. People are weird. But anyway, we go over here, and you put the missing scale in the mermaid statue. You've got the magnifying lens. This will reveal many things you couldn't see before. Ah! Something we couldn't see before! That's not the sword, that's the boot. Alright then, so now that we have the magnifying glass, there's a couple interesting things that we can demonstrate with the magnifying lens. So, we're not going to be demonstrating all of it right now, but I just wanted to finish this side quest right now before we really continue on with the story progress. So we will be demonstrating that probably next stream, but just not today. James Ross says, you really have to bring TMS into everything, don't you? It's a great game, and I'm really looking forward to it, and it legitimately makes me mad when people say that it was butchered in the North American version. Okay, somebody actually brought up a really good point about that. There was somebody who posted on Twitter a few days ago saying that whenever there's something risky in a Persona or Fire Emblem game, then there's like a bunch of fan art of people censoring it themselves. Like, for example, Halloween Tiki's artwork in Fire Emblem Heroes. Not Tiki, Naui. There were some people who sent a censored image of that character to the original artist, which is like one of the most disrespectful things ever. And these same people were crying about Tokyo Mirage Sessions getting censored. Okay, I'm not gonna talk about that now. We're not talking about Tokyo Mirage Sessions, we're talking about Link's Awakening. Yeah, get away from me. Okay, so you know what? Actually, I want to try something. My sister found something about these enemies on the Switch version, and I want to see if it's true in this one. But to do that, we're going to need to get something with the magnifying lens. So we're going to do a little bit more side activity stuff for now. But we will get back on the story progress in a little bit. Or, yay, redundant sentences. Alright, so on the topic of games that are coming out pretty soon, people in the chat, what games are you looking forward to in 2020? Alright, talking about Tokyo Mirage Sessions, I'm also looking forward to Xenoblade on Switch. The SpongeBob SquarePants remaster is also going to be pretty good too. And I'm really looking forward to Persona 5 Scramble. That game looks really fun. It seemed like it was going to be like a Hyrule Warrior style game when it was first announced, but then they came out with a new trailer recently that showed that it's going to be a bit more of an action RPG with Persona style combat, but with more of a focus on like an overworld thing. Not an overworld, but being able to explore an area and things like that. And that new trailer for Persona 5 Scramble just looks really, really cool. I'm really excited for that game. Okay, I was trying to read the chat for a moment. The James Rose says, "Oh no, your rubbing's went away." I don't quite get what you mean by that. Can you clarify? Sorry. Destroy you and go this way. So this right here you can only see if you got the magnifying glass. I found a good item washed up on the beach. I'll trade it to you for what you have in your B button. Okay. Don't give me that item. How about something else? So, the items that you're going to absolutely need for the story, you can't give away. But, there's one that you can get rid of. The James Ross says, Persona 5 Scramble looks awesome. Hoping Breath of the Wild 2 is out next holiday. Man, Breath of the Wild 2 is gonna be so good. I'm really looking forward to that, but I'm also hoping they don't rush it to try and get it out next holiday season. We don't know how far along that game is. On one hand, I'm hoping that it doesn't take an eternity to come out like Breath of the Wild did. But on the other hand, I don't want them to rush the game just for the sake of having a new Breath of the Wild game out so soon. They did say in an article a few years ago that they would try to release a new Zelda game every year. And so far it's been turning out okay, because we got Breath of the Wild in 2017, Hyrule Warriors last year, and Link's Awakening Cadence of Hyrule this year. So far so good, but I don't want it to be a situation like Assassin's Creed where they were rushing the game's development and they just weren't that great. I'm sure Breath of the Wild 2 is going to be amazing. There hasn't been a 3D Zelda game I haven't liked. Like, heck, Twilight Princess, I don't really care that much for that game, but it's still really great. Just compared to the other 3D Zelda games, it's probably the one that I'd replay the least. Oh, Tracy's love rubbing said, I see what you mean now. People in the chat, have any of you seen what Crazy Tracy looks like in Captain Rainbow? Because there's a Japanese exclusive game called Captain Rainbow that was only ever released in Japan. And the game's premise was a little weird. I can certainly see why it never made its way outside Japan. But the basic idea of it was that there are several Nintendo characters across their history. There were a lot more obscure characters at the time who were kind of like wanting to achieve their big dreams and things like that. I know Little Mac was in the game. His dream was to become a boxing champion again, but he was really, really out of shape. And Crazy Tracy, not making this up, her dream was to enslave all the men in the world. Alright, so I want to see if this works. Okay, that didn't work. Okay, so the trick that my sister found in the Switch version was that you can use the boomerang to stun these guys and then pick them up with the bracelet. But it doesn't seem to work in this version, unfortunately, but it's cool that they added something new on the Switch version. So yeah, the boomerang is easily the... What? No. No, no, no. No! Did I not save? No! Oh, man. Okay, I don't know what to do right now. I didn't say the restart point until... Like, I'll pull up the bomb screen real quick. I didn't set a restart point until after we beat the mid-boss the first time. So if I activate that, I have to go back through all of that. I really want to get the secret ending. I don't know. I'm going to put it on intermission while I think about this. Oh boy. I really want to get the secret ending for this game, but I know that we're going to have to like replay through half an hour worth of gameplay. What to do. Okay, I'm going to let you guys decide. Should we go for secret ending and replay through Catfish and Maw again, or should we just suck it up and just keep on going and not get a perfect ending because we suck? Actually, you know what? I'm pretty sure I can go through this quickly. We're loading up the restore point, and I'm gonna basically speedrun my way through this. Sorry for making you watch through all this again, but I will get that secret ending if it kills me, which it already did. Alright. After I did that, I just saw the comment James Rose wrote where it says, just keep playing, it's not a let's play. Well, it's too late now. speedrunning powers activate. That was a little weird that the bomb randomly appeared right there. Okay, so because we're basically speedrunning our way through this area, I don't feel the need to get every single treasure chest now. So we're just going to be basically rushing our way through the end of the dungeon. And if I feel like it, I'll get treasure chests later during intermission or whatever. I do apologize for making you watch all this again, but I always go for the secret ending. I never die whenever I play through this game. That's like the first time in a very long time that I've ever had to use a restart point to make sure I got the secret ending. Oh, you found me. You're a real pesky kid, you know that? Alright, take care of you. Blow up faster, blow up faster. Alright. I'm definitely going to have to pick up the Crazy Tracer Person after we get out of this area again. This guy is like the epitome of Nintendo Switch Online players. Because, my goodness, it is such a pain playing Smash Bros. Ultimate online because every time that I do well in that game, somebody rage quits. And the thing that sucks about Smash Bros. Online is if the person you're playing against rage quits, you still get punished. Because the entire room disconnects and... Okay, I could go on long rants about Smash Bros. Ultimate's online. It's a great game, but it's not worth paying the online subscription just for Smash Ultimate alone. It has a lot of problems. Alright, let's head over here. There we go. Aha, that was pure speedrunning skills. And that's skills with a Z. Okay, so after getting the hookshot, I believe it's just one key and the nightmare key that's left for this dungeon. Alright. Oh, we only have one bomb left. Oh boy. Okay. I'm kind of tempted to go back into town to buy more bombs, but I already know that there's one area in this place we can go to. So I'm not too concerned about that. Also, thank goodness we still have the red tunic because the red tunic deals more damage, which is going to make it easier for us to take care of these guys quickly. That being said, though, I am thinking about changing to the blue tunic after we're done with this dungeon. Not quite sure about that, though. I'm definitely not going to go out of my way to go complete the trading side quest again after we're done with this place. We're just going to head straight into the next dungeon because I don't feel like going through all that trading stuff again on camera. I'll definitely take care of that during intermission because it is incredibly helpful to get the magnifying lens. It's not required to beat the game by any means, but it's very useful. This is not where I want to go. I literally just beat this game I literally just beat this dungeon a moment ago. How am I getting lost? Alright. Let's head this way. Would it be faster to just go into town and buy bombs? I think it would be. Well, it's too late now. We're already committed to dying. Well, I need to leave to get a new post anyway. Alright, so, lovely people of the chat. While I go through this area, why don't you talk about what you'd like to see in Zelda in 2020? Do you want them to release Breath of the... Did I want to do that? Yes, that's next year. What do you want to see next year? Do you want to see Breath of the Wild 2 come out in 2020? If that doesn't come out, what other Zelda games would you like to see? Personally speaking, I'd really like to see Skyward Sword get a remake next year. I don't know if that's going to happen because we literally just got the Link's Awakening one. But there's also a lot of demand for Skyward Sword to get a remake. And I really do think it definitely would benefit from getting one. Because it is a great game, but there's a lot of people who just outright refuse to play it because of the motion controls. And there's also a few things within the game itself that could definitely be fixed as well. The big thing I can think of is that there's a few problems late in the game that can definitely be fixed. I'm trying to be as vague as I possibly can to avoid spoilers, but a Skyward Sword would definitely benefit from getting a remake on Switch. And it wouldn't really be that difficult either because you already have the Joy-Cons, which have more accurate motion sensing than the Wii Motion Plus does. So they could still replicate the controls on that, and they can also have a left-handed mode because both Joy-Cons have the same abilities as each other. Whereas on the Wii, you really only had the Wii remote that had the extra awesome motion controls. I'm stuttering a lot. I apologize for that. Either Breath of the Wild 2 or nothing. Skyward Sword HD in 2021 if Breath of the Wild still isn't ready. That's fair. We don't need a Zelda game every single year. We already got 2 this year, so we could definitely... It's definitely not the end of the world if we don't get anything next year at all. And another thing about that is that they could also release more games on the Switch Online service. More Zelda games, that is. Because one thing that would be really cool would be if they released these Zelda satellite view games on the service. I don't know if it's going to happen, but it would be really cool if they brought those back in some way on Switch. Because those satellite view games never got any form of a re-release beyond their initial release or anything like that. So it would be really cool if they had some kind of way to preserve them on Switch Online. And that's one thing that I think the service is really lacking, is a bigger variety in games. I like the service and all because having all those games really encourages you to try out things you wouldn't normally try before. Like Kirby's Dream Course, for example. I would have never tried that game on my own time. But after playing it on SNES Online, I've been really enjoying it. What? I've never seen him jump that high before. But yeah, they definitely need to have more than just NES and SNES online soon. And you know what? They also just need to release more SNES games, period. Because since it launched, we haven't gotten a single additional SNES game. This isn't the way I want to go. It's like, where is Earthbound? Where is Chrono Trigger? Where's anything? Alright, it's in here. Ah, we fell to our doom. How could we do such a horrible thing? One thing that I do wish that they did do with the chamber dungeons in Link's Awakening Switch, I really wish they gave you more freedom on controlling which rooms these staircases create. Because I've noticed that it's only really a small handful of rooms, and it just kind of seems completely random which rooms the stairs create. I don't know if anybody else feels that way, but yeah. Alright, destroy you. You didn't even get a chance to come to stand up. Oh, the spray right there is kind of glitching. At least it didn't completely glitch like in the Scary Demon Dungeon. The James Ross says, did you get another potion? Yes, I did. I got one on the way to getting the bombs, I think. Yeah, we did. Okay. Okay, you did. Carry on. And now to our next objective. Alright. That random bird appeared. Owie! Weird. Okay, where to next? Did we want to go to the left? I don't think so. Okay, I remember what we're doing now. Okay, so we want to do next. That we already did a moment ago, but we have to do again because I died. And I want to get the secret ending because I'm that crazy. I'm going to go through this area before I forget again. Get those rubies. I know one thing that I was kind of hoping was that on the Link's Awakening Switch they'd include a few more cameos. Like I was kind of hoping that we'd get something Splatoon related, but it's fine. The ones that they do have in the game are pretty great, and I really like that they kept Wart from this game because he hasn't actually appeared in any game for a very long time. So it was nice to see that again. And I gotta say, the fish song on the Switch version is like the most adorable thing ever. If you haven't seen it yourself, don't spoil it because it's definitely going to be worth it to see it the first time. Word. Alright, good to take care of that guy. And we get to go around the long way. Yay! Alright, so lovely people in the chat. What's your favorite thing that Nintendo's added to the Switch remake? The chamber dungeons are pretty much my #1 pick. But I also really like how they've changed the crane machine in that game. Because now it plays a bit more like a realistic crane machine. And I know some people get frustrated by it, but I think it has some really funny effects. I'm muttering over my words and I apologize for that. But something really funny that happened during the crane machine minigame was that I was getting the Yoshi doll at the beginning of the game, and it landed directly on the conveyor belt. It should have moved, but the tail was just barely off the conveyor belt and it just stayed there. I had to drop a heart piece on top of it to get the Yoshi doll to go away. That was pretty fun. Alright, so this stream is probably not going to be quite that long because I have some things I got to take care of a little bit later today. And also got midterms I got to study for, which is gross. But we're going to try to at least get into the next dungeon before we call it quits. I'm probably not going to do it. We're probably not going to finish it today because the next dungeon is a little long. But I definitely want to not fail. Also, we have the hookshot. Why am I not using the hookshot? The intro says, not having just 2 buttons for open is the greatest gift of all. It's never bothered me. But I can understand why it would make why it would turn some people off from this game. It's just never really bothered me that much. Do we want those bombs? No, we don't. We don't need them. I really do like that they made it so that some of your items are now permanently mapped onto your buttons. I really do appreciate that the sword and things like that are permanently mapped to your buttons, so you don't have to pause all the time. Although I will say, personally speaking, I think A Link to the Past has a bigger issue with that. Because you can only have 1 item equipped at a time in that game, and personally speaking, it just seems like it gets a little bit more annoying in that one to swap out your items. But that's just my personal opinion. Button mash, button mash, button mash. Okay, buddy old pal, let's do this. Something kind of funny is that recently I went to the Portland Retro Gaming Expo with my girlfriend, and they had the Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets game for the GameCube there. That was one of the first games I played on Xbox when I was a kid. And Something kind of interesting about that game was that it kind of has a Zelda-inspired item selection system where you map your different spells onto your different buttons. Like you can have a stunning spell, you can have Lumos and things like that. Do we not? What? Did we not pick up the nightmare key? I'm pretty sure we did. But anyway, back to Chamber of Secrets. It's really funny because the GameCube version of that game plays like a 3D Zelda game. But the Game Boy Color version, which by the way, the Game Boy Color was actually the last game ever released on the system. The Game Boy version of Chamber of Secrets is a turn-based RPG. It's actually a very good one too. Okay, am I going the right way? I think I am. Oh wait, there we go. I am not going the right way. I literally just beat this dungeon a moment ago. How am I still getting lost? James says, no, you didn't pick up the key. Of course I didn't. I blame you. Hashtag blame James in the comments. Okay, I know I was in this room a moment ago. How did I not pick it up? One thing that I also really like about the remake, last stream I kind of complained about how I didn't really like the dungeon music that much. Okay. I could have sworn it was in here. I could have sworn the Nightmare Key was in that room, but it's apparently not, and everything I know is a lie now. Oh boy, this might take a moment. I apologize. Okay, it's not there. Where's another treasure chest? James says, I'm not the one playing right now, aren't I? Maybe it was you. Maybe you hired Lord Narrator to hack my game. Alright, let's head over here. I believe these are just rubies, but I just wanted to double check anyway. It's just rubies. 200 rubies, that's pretty good. Okay. So, it's definitely not the one on the left. I think those are just rubies too. So, let's go left and up. James says, if you only didn't care about getting the perfect ending. I always get the perfect ending when I play this game. It feels wrong not to. It's only a regular small K! Where is the Nightmare Key? Did we already pick up the Nightmare Key? We already picked up the Nightmare Key. Okay. I thought for a second we were missing the Nightmare Key. I don't know anything anymore. Everything I know is a lie. Should I go get that last treasure chest? Not worth it. It's only rubies, I can get them off screen. Oh, it's a good thing we got a piece of power for this boss fight, so we can take it out a little bit quicker. And note to self, there is, you don't have a potion, so be careful. There we go. Okay, boss time. Again. You're the outsider come to wake the windfish. I shall eat you. Don't eat me, I taste too good. Oh no, I said too much. Alright then. Die. He does have another attack that we haven't seen yet, where I believe the colors of his eyes are a bit inverted. So whenever that appears, he'll explode when you pull him out. We haven't seen it yet though, so yeah. And I gotta be careful, I don't have a potion. Come on, be destroyed. Be destroyed, I'm asking nicely. Owie! Owie! Aha! You don't seem to know what kind of island this is, what the fool. I really like the design of this guy in the remake. Okie dokie. Now we picked up the thing again. Yay! You've got the wind, marimba. I don't know what a marimba is. Shrine, an island secret in the shrine. It was dialogue that we've seen before. Spooky. Alright, so like I said earlier, we're going to get into the next dungeon, but we're not going to be finishing it this stream. I don't know when the next one will be off the top of my head, though, so yeah. You know, so this probably goes without figure, but I feel the need to go without saying, not go without figure. This probably goes without saying, but one thing that I definitely should bring up in the video, because I would actually acknowledge this on stream or in interview or anything like that. But next year, it's probably not going to be quite as active when it comes to live streams or anything like that, because for those of you who don't know, I was recently accepted into the Disney College program, which means I'm probably not going to be able to work on videos quite as often as I'd like. So live streams are definitely going to be the thing that we're going to be focusing on less during that time. But it's going to be worth it, because I've been trying to get into the Disney College program forever, and I'm really excited I finally got in. But anyway, enough about all that, because we're going this way. And do we have arrows? Because I think what we need has reserve. We only have 5 arrows. Okay, so we gotta be careful. Before I forget, we gotta go to the town to get arrows anyway, but we're gonna get potions, so we don't forget, so we don't die and have to go through all that horrible stuff again. Okay. Restore point. There we go. If only this was SNES Online where you can rewind the game, so we wouldn't have to press the button too far away from Tracy, so the music spawns again. Okay, let's not do that again. Get in the door.
Hi there, big guy. I'm Crazy Tracy. I've got a little secret for sale that'll pump you up. How about it? 42 rubies for my little secret.
Just 22, too few. But this was a date. Wait, actually, this came out before, after. Never mind. I was about to say that. I don't even remember what I was trying to say. This is why I don't stream very often, because I can never remember anything that I say in these videos. At least during a Let's Play, I can edit out my dumb speaking. Link, check the chest. Wow, this is a nice chest. Alright, let's go this way. So we're gonna pick up some arrows in town before we do anything else, because I believe what's coming up, I don't think it's required, but it's definitely useful to have arrows for us coming up pretty soon, and we only have 5 of them, so definitely worth it. Alright, so another thing I want to ask you guys is, do you pronounce the town name Mabe Village or Mabe Village? Because I've always pronounced it Mabe Village. But I see a lot of people pronounce it Mabe Village, and it always hurts my head whenever I see that. So, do you pronounce it Mabe Village or Mabe Village? Alright, third time's the charm. We're gonna try to restore a point when we get into that shrine again. Because I feel like it. Also, no Scary Demon Dungeon this stream because, like I said earlier, I got things I gotta do today, and I could easily get lost in the Scary Demon Dungeon for a long time. Yeah, this music is so good. I haven't praised the music enough in this series, but I really do love the overworld song in this game. It's probably my favorite in the Zelda series. The Switch remake is really good too, and I honestly can't decide whether I like the Game Boy or Switch version more. I should like this one more because nostalgia, but the Switch remake just sounds so good. It really is the perfect remake. Okay, I think arrows are a good thing to fight these guys with. Let's try that out over here. We could go out of our way to get the boomerang again, but I don't feel like it. Oh, it only requires one arrow to defeat that guy. And these guys always drop arrows. Okay, so that's pretty good. Go inside here. You found a secret seashell. If you collect a lot of these, something good is bound to happen. I also really appreciate that the text box is a lot faster on Switch. I never realized just how slow it was on here. And we get the Guardian Acorn. Okay, James Earl says Mabe. I'm not pronouncing it like that. That's probably the official pronunciation, but I like pronouncing things however I like to pronounce them. That's why I say Deku, not Deku. Alright, it is boss time. Alright, you definitely want to be careful with this guy because when he jumps like that, it can stun you for a moment. Ah, wait, oh wait. Okay, so equip the feather. There we go, that wasn't too bad. Don't know what I was worried about there. Button mash. And we get the face key. Now, you're probably never going to be able to unsee this now that I bring it up, but what I like about the face key in particular is it kind of looks like one of those masks on a stick that you'd wear to a masquerade or something like that. Like one of those things you get at a carnival that has the smiley face on it. That's what it always reminds me of. To the finder, the Isle of Coldent is but an illusion. Human monster sees sky, a scene on the lid of a sleeper's eye. Awake the dreamer, and Coldent will vanish, much like a bubble on a needle. Castaway, you should know the truth. Hoot. I see you have read the relief. While it does say the island is but a dream of the windfish, no one is really sure. Just as you cannot know if a chest holds treasure until you open it, you cannot tell if this is a dream until you awaken. The only one who knows for sure is the windfish. Trust your feelings. Someday you will know for sure. So, I have a lot to say about this. A lot of it is things that'll make sense a little bit later in the game. But one thing I want to talk about is the dream itself. So, Covalent Island is the Windfish's dream. This was the first time that I'd ever been exposed to that kind of a storyline, that kind of a plot twist where it's just a dream. Normally, these kind of story tropes aren't really done all that well, but this is probably the one instance where it's done perfectly, because this isn't the hero dreaming, this is somebody else dreaming and we're stuck in there. So, now you may be wondering, why is this a threat to us? The Windfish wakes up, what can possibly happen to us? Well, if we head up here, we'll see exactly what is our threat. The Windfish slumbers long, the hero's life gone. Dun dun dun. So this brings me to a theory. The only person in this world who can really comprehend the idea of a world outside of Covalent Island is Marin. Everybody else is, like, if you talk to this one kid in Mape Village, for example, they'll talk about how they don't understand the concept of what could be outside the Covalent Island. Marin is the only person who's curious about what could be outside of Covalent. She wonders where the seagulls come from, where the coconut trees come from, just things like that. So my theory is that Marin is also stuck in this dream, just like Link is, and she is a real person as well. We'll talk about that a bit more later down the line, but this is something that I want to bring to your attention because this is a theory that I've had for a very long time, and I don't really get a whole lot of chances to really talk about it. Okay, James Earl says, it's the official one weirdo. Also like Ruby instead of Rupee. Ah! I am so sorry about that. Alright, let's get back into the game. Thank goodness that didn't happen during that one scene, because that would have completely killed the mood of the scene. Alright, so let's head over here. Let's go over this way. And one thing that I kind of wish they did in this game is that I kind of wish that they made it so that you could explore either this dungeon or Catfish's Maw in any order that you want, because there's not a whole lot of stuff in this dungeon that really requires the hookshot, so it kind of feels like if it wasn't for that one barrier, then you could probably, in theory, beat this next area without the hookshot. Level 6, Face Shrine. And that is where we're going to be ending the stream today. Like I said earlier, I got boring grown-up stuff I got to take care of a little later today. So, we're going to get back over here. It's this one. Alright, there we go. So, now we've taken care of that. We're going to be talking a little bit about the near future stuff on the channel. The next Link's Awakening stream will probably be next week. Maybe. I don't know off the top of my head. But after midterms are over, I will definitely be able to stream a bit more often. I'm going to be focusing mostly on beating Link's Awakening before we do another Tomb Raider stream. So just keep that in mind. Splatoon 2 will also have a new episode of that coming out pretty soon as well, which will focus on local multiplayer, and then we'll be moving on to Phase 2, which will focus on Octo Expansion. That's going to be pretty exciting as well. And also Super Mario 3D Land Special Worlds is going to be coming into an end pretty soon as well. And just look forward to future stuff on the channel. Also, Luigi's Mansion Versus on the game channel will also end on Halloween. And we've got plenty of surprises in store for the near future on that channel as well. So thank you all so much for watching this Gator stream, and next time, need to gear to you.
A special message from Lord Narrator. One of the games later Gator 2 you will be playing during the 12 Days of Gaming 2019 will be something we'll let's play in 2020.